या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मीरारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। पूज्य माता जी, पूज्य श्री अरविंद, you all are chosen children of the Divine Mother. The unique and utmost scientific sadhana for generating, evolving and elevating the perfection of divinity on this mortal earth has been for the first time launched here at this present time of Kali Yuga in India by our mother. India is going to be the center of the world. India is going to be the chief source of the universal Gurutva. India is going to be the spiritual master resource of the entire humanity for realizing the one dictum that was left out by the Indian rishis in our past millenniums of Vedanta. Mrutyurma amrutam gamayah. Dictum was accepted as principle in Vedanta. Srunavantu amrutasya putraha. We are immortal. We are immortal. But immortality has not been practically, really, as the base of de facto reality of the universe, and that too in the time of relativity. Living relativity, we can have the master experience of immortality, and immortality being contradictory to mortality, immortality being contradictory to relativity, immortality being contradictory to imperfection, has to be so merged that real imperfection of the universe, real imperfection of the human body, real imperfection of the human relativity is to be made perfect. Einstein also left it imperfect. Relativity of Einstein is also left out imperfect. E is equal to mc square, but mc square is not the real reality of the relativity at present prevalent in the world. So, Sri Aurobindo assigned mind of light, mind of body we can understand, mind of physicality we can understand, mind of vitality we can understand, mind of mentality we can understand more, but mind of light, mind of psychic, mind of divine, mind of God and mind of Mahashakti is out of our range, and not only out of our range, that is out of the range of science, but it was left out as out of range of Indian spirituality, and rishis merely proclaimed and heralded neti, 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 na iti, na iti, na iti, still further, still further, still further. Asatoma Sadgamaya has been already realized through science. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya has also been realized by certain rishis during the Vedanta. But Mrutyurma Amrutam Gamaya, for the entire relativity, for the entire earth, for the entire humanity is yet to be realized. And that is what the program launched by Sri Aurobindo, and the program was complemented and reciprocated to very systematically, scientifically, and that too on the basis of Vedant up to Srimad Bhagavat, Vedant up to Skanda Puran, Vedant up to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and Vedant up to Sri Aurobindo's sound synthesis of East and West. And that is what the one word for entire scenario to be lived in one person, entire scenario to be lived in one life, entire scenario to be experimented in one human laboratory is a de novo science, new physics over and above the physics of Schopenhauer, Heisenberg and Stephen Hawking, where time is to be made perfect, space is to be made perfect, and relativity between time and space and the bridge of energy that is to be made perfect is not merely MC square, is infinity. And where infinity is there, multitude is there, beautitude is there, and the Trinity of God, Trinity of Parabrahma, Trinity of Purna Purushottam Paramatma Lord Krishna, Krishna as Sarthi and Krishna as Virat, to be so merged that each and every cell of the human body, the body that is Nashwant, the body that is immortal, that body can bear the real atom of divinity here on the earth that can only make relativity perfect and complete. And that is the perfection Mother uses at the age of 92. Word perfection is not mere completion. Word perfection means Purus is also perfect, Prakriti is also perfect, reality is also perfect, and relativity is also perfect. The center is also perfect and circumference is also perfect. Purnameva Vishishyate. Cause is also perfect, consequence is also perfect. Nothing is to be discarded. Brahma Satyam Jagat Leela, that is, Leela is yet to be made perfect. Leela is yet to be made truth. Leela is yet to be made Purna. Leela is yet to be made Paripurna divine. Leela is yet to be made so perfect that it can generate Paramananda. It can generate Satchidanand. Satyam Sivam Sundaram, that is the highest form of the Trinity of divinity. Divinity has got three permanent dimensions, and those permanent dimensions are Satyam, Sivam, Sundaram. What is Satyam is Sivam, and what is Sivam is Sundaram. And Sundaram is Satyam, and Sundaram is also Sivam. World seems to be beautiful, but world does not seem to be Sivam totally. World seems to be beautiful. Nature is beautiful. We can imagine nature to be highest beautiful, and that is why in art the beauty of the nature is translated on pictures. Leonardo da Vinci, the previous birth of Sri Aurobindo, also concentrated on the beauty of nature. That was yoga. That was not merely the art presented, master art presented by Leonardo da Vinci. In this birth, the psychic of Sri Aurobindo, the psychic today of Sri Aurobindo was the psychic of Leonardo da Vinci. In that birth, perfected that beauty in Last Supper and Mona Lisa. The pictures drawn by Leonardo da Vinci presents this trinity of Satchidanand, of Vedanta in these two pictures. Mona Lisa is known all over the world for her beauty, bliss and Anand. And the Last Supper was the picture world famous, world masterpiece in the field of art, was for Last Supper of mortality. This is the Last Supper of mortality. Lord Jesus Christ was Lord Krishna of the Western world. That is what Yoganandji declared. And Lord Krishna was Lord Jesus Christ of the Eastern world. That was the definition of Krishna consciousness given by Yoganandji Paramhans. And that Last Supper, Lord Krishna accepted death. And Lord Jesus Christ also willfully accepted death. So death was accepted by the divine. Death was not transformed by the divine. Lord Krishna reappeared many a times in India before devotees. But the same Lord Krishna presented himself before Sri Aurobindo and gave so many clues to get this last dictum, Mrityorma Amrutam Gamaya. The velocity, Gamaya indicates gati, Gamaya indicates velocity, Gamaya indicates motion. The motion is also reality. It is not the quantum that is reality. Velocity is also reality. Movement is also reality. That transfer of one object to another, transfer of one object from one place to another, that is also relativity. It is not merely reality, but what is reality is becoming relativity. And if reality is perfect, Om Tat Sat is perfect, that has to be brought down on the earth as piece of matter, as Lord Krishna saw presented before Jasoda, that is Bhagavat's dictum. The clot of soil in the mouth of Bal Mukund, it was not merely a piece of soil, it was entire Brahmand. So what was the difference between it? Difference is not of the impression, difference is not of the image, difference is of the totality. Difference is of the totality. It is not a piece, it is the whole of the universe. It is Brahmand. So it is whole that is perfect. Piece is not perfect. Piece is imperfect. Whole is perfect. It is the relativity in totality is perfect. It is the relativity in reality is perfect. And Sri Aurobindo says that it is the relativity of mortality is in immortality of divinity is perfect. So perfection in sense, that is what mother uses before Satprem, and Satprem is expected at that moment to realize this perfection truly. You can simply get it recorded this way is not enough. You must also understand. Satprem, as we have seen, raised so many questions before mother in order to get confirmation of his own understanding. Whether I could understand it completely or not, that was the question mark in the mind of Satprem, has also to be so sympathetically compromised that my understanding is the real understanding of the mother and it is being communicated to me perfectly. So what is perfection? Mother repeatedly uses the word perfection. Perfection is here, imperfection is there. Perfection is here, imperfection is there in the world of mortality. World outside, not only world outside from my room, world outside from my inner being. My inner being is one room, world external is another room. So perfection is inner being, perfection is in my body, and the world outside which I can see and observe as witness, as spectator, is imperfect. The world within me is perfect. The cell within my body is perfect. Cell within my body is beautitude, infinitude and multitude. It is the cell that can germinate cell. It is the cell that can generate cells. That is what science accepts at present. DNA is immortal. DNA is immortal. So immortality is there in my cell because it is in pure form, because it is in perfect form, because it is in beauty of the divinity. Divinity is still there hidden. And Mother says that it is a physical mind. Our mind is corporeal mind. It is a physical mind being vibrated, and we are becoming day by day, every moment, victims of our own mind. We cannot control our mind. We are the victims of our mind. Still it is physical mind, but physical mind in the real sense of the term is made clear here by Mother, that physical mind at cellular level is physical mind. The mind at the level of the body is corporeal mind. Is corporeal mind. Is distorted, is perverted, is deviated, is under the impact of so many external forces where the entire world, entire life and entire existence is imperfect. Mind is habituated to register imperfection. Mind is not well trained up to perfect and to register the perfection. Perfection is only with divine, and that perfection is not perfectly comprehended by our mind. If mind can be given U-turn, if mind can be given perfect ascent, if mind can evolve knowingly, unknowingly it is evolving. We were monkey, we were amoeba, we were this, we were that, and at present we are human beings. But where at the level of human being, the level of mind is given to us, is taken for granted blindly as perfect. But the mind at present is also not perfect. Perfection of mind is there in mind of light. Perfection is there in the mind of cells. Perfection is there in the mind of the cells, because cells are not registered, cells are not known, cells are not utilized, cells are not managed, and cells are not organized by our mind. They are organized by our psychic silently, and the movement of the psychic and the programming of psychic is not known by our mind. That is our problem. What psychic is doing, what psychic is operating, how psychic is operating, and we are living. It is the psychic that generates life in each and every cell of our body. If they are distorted, the distortion at a particular level becomes disease. Distortion at the particular level becomes the cause of our loss of hygiene. And this movement, unknowingly, unregistered by our mind, going on, and ultimately it results into death. So the gap between psychic and mind, distance between psychic and mind becomes the distance between soul and the body. When soul departs from the body, distance becomes apparent. Distance becomes apparent. Every day we are dying. Every day we are experiencing unknowingly that psychic is leaving the body. Distance between psychic and mind is widening. Because we never tried, we never practiced, we never thought of bridging the gulf between psychic and mind. The true sadhana that is Mother launched is the sadhana to bridge the gulf between mind and psychic. And if that bridge is perfectly completed, is perfection. Perfection is here, imperfection is there. They coexist in the same place. Perfection and imperfection coexist in the same body, within. if I forget connectivity, if I deconcentrate on connectivity, if I get if I get deviated means what? If my mind is getting away from focusing on psychic, that it becomes the distance, that becomes the gap. It is the psychic that should prevail in each and every part of our body, in each and every karmendriya and gnanendriya of our body, in each and every systems of our body. It is such a powerful master pattern that it can be controlled, commanded, regulated, operated and regenerated by our psychic. The lonely thought, in Savitri Sri Aurobindo has written, the lonely thought becomes omnipotent. So where thought lies, from where we can have the experience of thought and thinking, any other organ excepting mind cannot experience the power and velocity of thought. It is our mind that can only experience the power and velocity, that is Shakti and velocity. In the words of Einstein, energy and velocity is mind. So perfection is also there, imperfection is also there. But it is the mind that has to be so trained and so made so determined that it can bridge the gulf between perfection and imperfection. If mind is to be elevated to such a level where we can feel the perfection of the cell in our entire body, not only in one cell. Today we don't feel the existence of very cell where the divinity is there, velocity is there, reality is there, immortality is there. On the contrary, we think that it is the paper boat, it has to perish and it will perish soon. And the last line of the very first canto of Savitri, where Sri Aurobindo has indicated this master problem of imperfection. We are imperfect and that is why death is there. We are imperfect, that is why disease is there. We are imperfect, that is why ignorance is there. We are imperfect, that is why darkness is there. We are imperfect, that is why tamas of Srimad Bhagavad Gita dominates our rajas and sattva. If that order is changed, it is the sattva that has to dominate tamas and rajas. It is the sattva that has to dominate the chanchalam hi manah krishno. It is the sattva that has to dominate the limitations of mind, and it is the sattva that has to control, command the limitations of entire body. If that order is once put into this disorder, once put into order, then that is perfection. They coexist in the same place. The minute you perceive perfection, see, Mother writes, the minute you perceive perfection, imperfection disappears. The minute, not ages, not years, not decades, not a longer time, prolonged time. It is only one moment. If we can focus instead of mind on psychic, now our moment is changed. The time and space of Einstein can be changed. So the limitation of energy that is depicted in Einstein's formula can be enhanced to such a level where E is equal to mc square gets automatically converted in one moment into E is equal to infinity. Where there is energy, infinity is there. Where there is energy, immortality is guaranteed. Where there is energy, immortality becomes our privilege and willful privilege. It is willful privilege. And that is why human mind is given to us. Human mind is granted to us ex gratia in the evolution. An existence, evolving existence, reached at this stage of present entity as human being is going to be perfect with the means given to it by divine through evolution. Illusion disappears. This is our illusion that we are mortal, we are mortal, we are mortal. Satyavan, this was the day when Satyavan must die. So must appears before us inevitable. So must of life appears before us as final victim, final dictum, final principle, ultimate reality. We accept death to be ultimate reality. We never accept life to be ultimate reality. That is our illusion. What is there is not seen, and what is not there is accepting as our sole command, as our highest command in life. Mrutyorma amrutam gamaya. That velocity of gamaya is not yet found out, yet experienced by us. Individually, those who were dedicated devotees since last 5,000 years after Lord Krishna, they could feel, imagine and live for a moment the immortality and left their bodies at their will. But it was the individual, isolated and momentary experience. It was not the real nature of reality. Our nature is mortal. Everything appears to be mortal. And we take consolation, fake consolation from our observation that this dies, that dies, everything dies. So I have also to die. Death is my ultimate destiny. That is illusion. As a matter of fact, 80 crores, 100 crores, innumerable cells have been given to us in our body, and they all are immortal. The DNA hidden there, the spirit of the cell is immortal. We simply don't know how to organize them, how to bring them under the control of our psychic, how to bring them under the control of Satchidanand center within us, to bring them under the supreme light which is there, and we are living in the darkness. We are living in the darkness. Where there is darkness, there is ignorance. Where there is ignorance and darkness, there is death. Where there is ignorance, darkness and tamas. Tamas is not merely darkness. Tamas has got so many potentialities depicted in Vedanta. It is the black hole. Mini black hole which is there in our body is tamas. In black hole, solar system is also dissolved. Planet itself is also dissolved. Light, solar light is also dissolved. Black hole can dissolve anything and everything. The black hole is the cosmic death, and our death is our individual death. At microcosm, death is our experience, mandatory experience, and black hole is the mandatory experience of the entire cosmos. So, ya pindesa brahmande, what is there in our pind is in Brahmand. There is no difference pattern which exists. Still, Rishi Munis left it there. Naiti, naiti, naiti. We'll have to give up the world because that body is momentary. Body is mortal. Soul is immortal. Soul departs and body is there. It becomes dead. Because of death, body becomes dead. Because of perfection, body becomes immortal. In other words, Mother says, in other words, the capacity to live and be that true vibration, capacity to live and to be the true vibration. Our vibration is illusory. Our vibration is guided and motivated by illusion. But the true vibration, and what is true vibration? That mind should be an instrument to register the immortality of the cell. Mind is to be a registered instrument which can take note and take cognizance of the movement, velocity and beauty, infinity and goodness, Shivam, that is still there in miniature. That is the de facto reality, and to be registered by our mind. If mind gets the right direction, if mind moves in the right direction with right velocity, it can reach to the level of the shell, to the level of the depth, instead of being the victim of darkness, ignorance, illusion and hallucination. In most of the cases, in most of the time, our mind becomes the victim of illusion, and it can accept illusion to be the reality. And to escape from illusion, we are all the while searching for miracles. It is not miracle that can solve our riddle. It is the awareness, it is the unity, it is the unification, it is the combined entity of mind and psychic can solve this problem and can understand the true and genuine perspective of immortality. It can convert if mind gets rid of its own limitations and psychic manifests fully its perfection, then our mind can be competent and capable enough to register the perfection. Lord Krishna presented himself in Virat before Arjuna in 11th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna, instead of pointing himself as Sarthi, did not say that I am perfect. You see, Arjuna, I am Bhagwan, I am God. He says, who am I, Arjuna? See that I am this. Who is this? I am Virat. Cell can say that I am Virat, though it is atom, though it is molecule. Our body cannot say that I am Virat. Our mind cannot say that I am Virat. Our mind cannot claim that I am Virat. The imperfection of mind makes us imperfect, and mortality of mind makes us mortal. If immortality is generated in mental cells, if a mind of light is to be brought actively in our mental cells, then and then only we can feel the Virat within us. Virat of Srimad Bhagavad Gita within us. That is mind. And Sri Aurobindo's yoga is to elevate the mind, higher mind, illumined mind, intuitive mind and overmind. That is meant for generating perfection in our body. And if that perfection is generated in our body, that is true psychicization. If our body can be psychicized, then body will be under the direct command of our psychic instead of the command of our mind. Body under the command of mind is illusion. Body under the command of mind is hallucination. Body under the command of limitation is limited. Limitation can generate limitation. Limitation cannot generate perfection. So mind is incompetent. Mind is incomplete. Mind is limited. Living in limited sense and living in limitations all around, mind cannot generate, cannot offer bliss of infinite, bliss of immortality to our body. So this is the master key mother has found out. To live and be, that true vibration seems to have the power to substitute their old vibration of mortality. Old vibration that death is constantly worrying, death is constantly fearful of death. If our body is conscious, then body can feel the fear of death constantly. Every day, if we are bit cautious and conscious, death is must. If not today, tomorrow. Our body is ever fearful of the death. how far well contented we are living, how far well satisfied we are living our life, how far happy, how far blissful we are. But still, if we become bit conscious, then immediately we are afraid of death. We are not afraid of anything else. We are afraid of death and death, because death is for our mind reality. Satchidanand, Param Purushottam, Paramatma, God, divine. We may call it divine or not, doesn't matter. But that supreme power is for psychic only reality. And if psychic starts realizing that supreme reality and bringing it down to the level of the cells, then it becomes perfection. Vibration seems to have the power to substitute, and that is the substitute, that vibration for the vibration of falsehood, that can alter the vibration of falsehood. Death is falsehood, disease is falsehood, bhai is falsehood, fear is falsehood. Instead of looking at the serpent, we can look to the thread and accept it to be the serpent. Body is also not mortal, body is also immortal, provided is being properly organized, provided it is properly arranged, it is properly brought into a perfect pattern as per the design and destiny of our psychic in this birth. And that too we can have it, we can have that experience in moment. Sri Aurobindo has written, in moments the inner lamps are lit, life-cherished guests are left outside. Spirit sits alone and speaks to its gulf. To its gulf means to the Supreme in one direction, and to be the cellular infinity in another direction. Totality can be the totality if two ends can be submerged. If two ends can be submerged, then it becomes total. So one end is the Supreme and one end is the cell. If cell is constantly communicating to the Supreme, then body can be immortal. Vibration of falsehood to the point where, for instance, suppose that the outcome of the false vibration is an accident or a disaster. It is the false vibration becomes accident. It is the false vibration of fear becomes disorder. It is the false vibration of fear. And if psychic stands to be helpless at the time of the external attack, if psychic becomes totally inoperative at the time of the external attack on our body, then it results into accident. But if automatically psychic comes to the forefront and keeps the body intact, then accident won't take place. Or if accident takes place, body also can be safe as soul itself. That is the reality. For instance, suppose that the outcome of the false vibration is an accident or a disaster, but if amidst these vibrations there is a consciousness capable of becoming conscious of the vibration of truth, our psychic should come at that moment to realize itself as the vibration of truth, that is Om Tat Sat. What is there? Sat. So Sat means is to be constantly lived, is to be constantly understood, is to be constantly experienced in at the time of bliss and at the time of disaster too. Then we can divert the destiny, we can alert the destiny, and we can alert the destiny into our true reality, the reality that is palatable to our psychic, not to our mind. But if amidst these vibrations there is a consciousness capable of becoming conscious of the vibration of truth, that can, Mother says, that can do it. But further Mother says that must that must. Now we have got the present birth, and present birth at the time of the supramental, it becomes must for us. Instead of banking upon our mind, logic and scholarship, we should bank upon the divinity of infinity, that is the very nature, basic nature of our psychic. So it is psychic that is to be made active, operative. The velocity of the supreme is to be given to psychic, that is to be understood by our mind, and mind should be so inoperative that it can give room to the psychic to act every moment. That must cancel, the velocity of psychic must cancel the velocity of mind. The other, prevent the disaster, to prevent the disaster. And what is our master disaster? Death. Death is our master disaster. Death is our master accident. Death is our master misfortune. Death is our master problem having no solution up till now. There is a growing feeling that what is true is the only way to change the world. It is the truth that can change the world. And truth of what? Truth of psychic can change the world. Mother says, countries, continent, man, choice is imperative, either truth or abyss. This is truth. Only way to change the world. All the other procedures, very common word is used by the mother, procedure. All the other procedures of gradual transformation are always tangential, for absolutely momentary. Oxygen, ICU, medicine, surgery, therapy, they are all temporary means to generate immortality. Let us live still 10 years further. Let us live 5 years further till the marriage of our grandson. These are all temporary. It's not. And we are consoled. We take solace. We take consolation that no, it is medical science that can make us live. It is the medical science that can make us survive. It is the medical science that makes us to see tomorrow the life and the world as it is. Otherwise we could have gone. That is falsehood, is not truth. Procedures of gradual transformation are always tangential. They come closer and closer, and they come closer and closer to us. All researches of medical science come closer and closer to death, not to immortality. But never get there. The ultimate step must be this, but never get to the ultimate step. And this is the ultimate step. This is the key, that we should awaken our cells in such a way that awakened cell can give experience of immortality to our limited mind. Mind fails all the while, but if cells are awakened, so the connectivity between cells and mind can make mind the right, appropriate, energetic instrument to be the pedestal of our own psychic. This, the substitution of the true vibration, and this is the real alternative, real solution of the true vibration which is there in the mind of the cells, which is there in our physical mind, that is there in the cells, because cell also has got substance, cell also has got its own body, and the cell also has got its own psychic, and the psychic of the cell, where lies the immortality, divinity, and the genuine true solution of our apparent illusory mortality. Go.